Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our latest The Division video, quick look, stroke extravaganza. That chucker you can hear next to me is Mr. Lee Bradley. Hi, Lee.
Hello, mate. You alright?
Yeah. Right, in this video, we're going to look at the base building stroke restoration. It's more restoration. The cool stuff you can do in your bases. And we're going to have a look at the map at the end as well.
Alright, cool.
Excited?
Yeah, I am. I'm jealous that you got to play it.
Yeah, and this is kind of stuff that we didn't really know about as well. So we went in just expecting, I don't know, like third-person shooter, online, kind of integrated in terms of multiplayer and co-op. But what we got was like a big RPG, which we did a video on earlier on in the day, and now some really cool kind of base mechanics.
Okay, so you've got a base, and it's yours and yours only?
Yes.
Okay.
So how it works is, the safe house, the base in the game, base of operations they're called, safe houses are completely different.
Right.
But the base of operations is opposite Madison Square Gardens. I believe it's the post office. My New York knowledge isn't incredible, obviously being a Brit.
Okay.
But yeah, so what you do is you do submissions and stuff, and you go there, and you have to clean out the front. And then, so if you're with your crew, right, and you're out the front, and you go in, so you go through this like kind of almost decontamination zone where it just kind of kind of neon-y blue lights.
Okay.
And if you and your mate walk in, your mate just disappears. And
goes into his base.
Yeah, he loads into his base and you load into your base.
Right.
But then there's no load screens after when you come out.
Okay.
Like, you both load onto the server streets. When that's the server you were playing on. All the weather's the same.
Okay.
You don't have to re-invite him. You can still chat while he's in his base and you're in your base. So it's cool like that.
All right. So what's in there?
Wow, what isn't in there? There is loads of stuff in there. So obviously, first and foremost, there's your vendors.
Okay.
There's restock points as well. So you've got weapons, gear, mods, and something called rewards.
Okay.
Which we couldn't work out what it was.
Is that not just what happens? But you go and do a mission, you come back, get your wards off the bloke. Actually, that wouldn't make any sense.
Well, no, because there's a big loot system in the game. So when you kill like a mid-level boss, like they're called elite characters and they have names and stuff.
Okay.
When you kill them, you just loot them and you get all their shit.
Oh.
And they're usually just loads of stashes like are hidden around there, so you just loot that. So I don't know what that is. I thought it might be the Dark Zone stuff, but the Dark Zone stuff is completely different. You have to get it cleaned.
Right.
So once you go into the Dark Zone, it's kind of, because that's the epicenter of the virus, that's where it started.
Right.
So whatever you take from the Dark Zone, you have to get decontaminated before you use it.
Because the Division obviously is set after like some big disaster, or during a big disaster in New York, right?
Yeah. No, later days, not the early days. Like there's still people on the streets.
Yeah.
There's dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
So there is life in the city. It's not desolate.
Okay.
And that kind of life, as you upgrade your base, you start to see more and more people there. Like it becomes almost a refuge. It's meant to kind of show you effectively as you're saving the world.
Right.
You see that kind of replicated in your base of operations.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. But the main thing in the base is there's 3 wings.
Yeah.
There is tech, medical, and security. In order to start upgrading those wings, which have cosmetic and gameplay affecting mechanics, you have to go and activate the station,
right,
and then go and save like a head honcho person.
What, to run it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so you go and save them, you bring them back, and they put it in, and then you can use the resources that you got from around New York City to upgrade it.
Wait, what kind of resources do you find when you're wandering around?
Well, they're kind of resources. That's what they're called.
Oh, it's not like
resources.
Fallout 4 where it says like aluminium.
No. It's more like if you go and save, almost like you save somebody on the street and he could turn out to be a doctor, and he then becomes a medical resource.
Okay.
And that kind of thing, and like you could go and loot somewhere, protect like that. Works as a resource, if that makes sense.
But what's the point of it? Like, what do I get out of it? If I find a medical bloke, I start like a medical wing, and I make it all pretty in that. Why am I doing that?
One, it looks prettier.
Right.
So for example, let's use the example that I did in game. We saved the medical person. It was a bit annoying, and we unlocked the pediatric care, which was just this before it was like loads of boxes and stuff. But then like, there's now like beds and stuff. We can look after the kids. That's what they say in the game. Because this is how the story's delivered by these 3 pillars. They're all almost 3 separate pillars of story.
Okay.
And then they come together almost for like an end game, I would assume.
Right.
They weren't really talking too much about that. But so yeah, pediatric care. Like gameplay wise, you get talents and perk rewards that you unlock when you unlock them. So,
okay, so don't the abilities line up with those 3 things as well?
Yeah, they're medical rewards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, for example, for doing the pediatric care, you can choose a talent, the combat medic, which is basically you heal your nearby group members when you heal them. So I think they get like a certain percentage. Yeah, wow, that's my laptop. Also, strike back as well. So if you're low health, your cooldowns on your skills are reduced.
Okay.
Where's the cheer for that one? I mean, jeez. And then finally a perk, which is all passive, so it unlocks straight away. Your medikits are increased by 1.
Okay.
So you can carry them as well.
All right, so it's well worth doing all this stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's loads of stuff.
I'll tell you what is a shame.
Go on.
That you can't get other people into your base to show off like how much stuff you've done.
That's what Twitch is for, mate.
That's right.
And YouTube. So it's effectively that. There's other stuff in there like crafting stations. We don't do a lot of crafting, but there is crafting.
All right.
And like there's a map in there as well where you can add points of interest to your map.
What kind of thing?
Things like I don't know, encounters and stuff like that. People that need saving, areas that need cleaning out, that kind of thing.
All right.
Speaking of maps, let's have a look at the map, Lee. See that? Seamless. It's almost like it was planned, mate. Almost like it's planned. So here is New York City. As you can see.
Is that the whole entire game?
That is the whole entire game right there. But it's not like GTA where...
Well, it's smaller.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no cars and nothing. So.
But this is like 1-1, right?
I think so, yeah. We're looking at it. It looks 1-1. They have all the right areas as well in the correct places, like Chelsea, the Flatiron District, Gramercy. It's a shame that obviously Times Square's there, but it's a shame there's no Central Park.
DLC, right?
Yeah, you would have thought so, right?
That'd make some great DLC.
But there's a lot of interiors in this as well.
Okay.
So I don't know how many exactly, but for example, I would say most of like the big iconic places, like we were in the post office opposite Madison Square Gardens, and then the next mission was in Madison Square Gardens, and then one of the other missions was in the Lincoln Tunnel. So it seems to be working like that.
Okay.
The social points in there, Camp Hudson that you can see on the left, that's a social hub. There's other social hubs. There's the safe houses as well with the little house icons. The little triangles, like the green ones, are where you get resources. So one of them, there's an encounter, there's another encounter and stuff like that. The what's that? Oh, so the orange triangle? I have no idea what that is actually.
What's the big red area?
It's the dark zone, mate.
That's the dark zone,
It's the dark zone.
All
so
right.
yeah, the dark zone, like we didn't really get to explore much of the dark zone because it's fucking tense in there, mate.
Right.
It's like, it's mental.
Right.
But we're going to talk more about the dark zone in another video. But Koreatown's in there, for instance. You know what? My map knowledge isn't good, but I would probably say that maybe the Empire State's in there.
Okay.
And the Rockefeller Center might be in there as well.
All right.
Because it's kind of around that area, kind of east of Times Square.
Okay.
But when we look at the dark zone in the video later on in the day, which if you've come after Friday, just you'll find on our channel, we're actually going to look at the map on New York City and compare and talk about what's in the dark zone, what big kind of milestones.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's a look at the base building and the map. Excited?
Yeah, I want to play it. I should have gone on this trip. It's an outrage.
It's an outrage. Yes, thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.